Hey there. Do you feel like you don't trust yourself to stick with the collective if you were to join, and that's a reason that you're not necessarily moving forward because you're a little bit fearful? Am I actually going to get this done? Because maybe in the past you signed up for things and didn't see it through to the end. And I just want to talk through that because you're not alone in thinking that. And I don't want you to beat yourself up unnecessarily and be feeling like you have all this shame and fear of moving your life forward because of some past stuff. So let's unpack that. I got my tea. It's freshly brewed. I'm a gunpowder green kind of a girl. And I'm going to pour myself a cup. You do as well. Let's talk about this. All right. Okay, so you would be surprised at how often we hear that you don't trust yourself to stick with something. And I just want you to stop beating yourself up because get your cup of tea, we're going to be chill and have a conversation about this. So here was Heather's fears. So she was fearful. This was the first day she signed up for the collective. She said, my fear is that I'm going to learn to write grants and I'm going to spend all this time studying and learning the skill, and then I won't be able to land clients. Also, she was worried that she'd feel confident in her ability to learn grant writing, but she didn't feel confident that she could learn the business skills. She still was working full-time and had only aspirations to become a freelancer. But that was also what she was excited about. So let's just fast forward, and this is Heather's situation. So again, she had a full-time job. She was hustling on the side. She did 30 informational interviews, and that led to 3 contracts. We asked this question about the informational interviews that she did last fall, so that's over 6 months ago. So I'm going to guess that she's done even more and that several of those did turn into contracts. So I bet her rate is even higher than 10%. So she joined in January. She hit 15K in November, and then she quit her job because she had a nice, healthy pipeline and actually felt confident enough to become a mom and have this as her stay-at-home gig. And she ended up even hiring some subcontractors in the collective, fellow unicorns, that could keep her contracts going while she was on maternity leave. So it's a big journey. I'm including a screenshot of one of her questions that she brought. Originally, our community group was in Facebook, and hallelujah, we are out of there. We are in a platform called Circle. Basically, if Slack, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Slack, but it's amazing. I can show you actually because I have my Slack up. So here is Slack. This is just what it looks like in the back end. So this is, for instance, so we post every day in our team, like what are the 3 things that everyone's working on that day. And like, for instance, we just wished Crystal a happy birthday. So a lot of gift loves, right? And that's where I share like a video once a week on what we're up to. So anyway, you get the idea. That's what Slack looks like. You have channels on the left-hand side. And then Facebook has the chat. So you blend those two into an ethical ad-free baby and you have a better community group. That was a tangent. So Heather brought this sticky situation feeling like I charged $500 to write a letter of inquiry. It's not actually taking me too long. Should I give the client some money back? And my answer was not only no, hell no, right? A few hours of your time, plus you have to factor in the business development to have landed this client, the fact that you have a grant database, you have software that you pay for to deliver writing services. It's not about the hours, it's about the value delivered. And so just keep in mind that while it took her January to November to make 15K, it was also because she wasn't charging nearly enough. And thankfully she has really come through that. And now she charges closer to $2,500 or $3,000 for every funding strategy, which is awesome. Okay, so let's look at some of the stats on this because we had, went a little fast. We had some interesting conversations on Instagram with our community group on this topic. So are you afraid that you're not going to follow through, and that if you were to buy another online course, would you get it done? 46% said yes, 10,000%, I'm afraid I'm not going to follow through. 11% said not really worried about it. And 43% said kind of, but if I had the right course, I'd finish. So I want you to know, 46%, folks, like you're literally not alone. Right? So I don't want that fear to make you feel like it's isolating. Okay, and then we asked the second question of, let's talk about why you didn't finish the last course you took. 56% because they didn't like it, 33% forgot, and then I can't remember what the other one was. But so obviously time is the biggest concern. And so let's talk about time. And then we asked, what's the biggest contributing factor to not having time? And it's 27% because you have heavy family obligations, 50% lack of energy because you have a full-time job and the last thing you want to do is look at a computer all day. Don't blame me for that. Honestly, I get the same way. And then 23% because other priorities took preference. So I just want to talk about this a little bit. Let me go into it right now because I kind of am going to, I've got it. I got this. I can talk about time. Here's the deal. I totally understand the fact that if you're coming home, you're absolutely fried. How the heck are you supposed to sit down at a computer and watch several hours of training and keep doing this? I get you. So download the app on your phone and listen to the trainings while you're driving to and from work, while you're cooking, while you're folding laundry. Seriously, I have listened and learned so much while doing my dishes because that's not exactly one of my favorite activities and I do not have a dishwasher. And I will just put up the course that I'm watching and I will learn so much that way. Because the first time you go through content, it just has to get into your brain and start gelling up. It's like these puzzle pieces that don't necessarily fit together right away. So I want you to kind of binge through phase 3 and then you'll see how that all fits together. So just want you to be aware of that. Second point, I know you're busy because I have literally taught thousands of you and had phone call conversations with hundreds, even in the last 4 months. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. 44 calls in 4 days, I've really made it a goal to understand where you're stuck. We designed the program so that if you put in 5 hours a week consistently, you can get certified in the program and complete your first paid funding strategy, right? Very doable. You have 5 hours a week. Look just at, if you need to look at where your time's going too, map it, really study and understand where is your time going and is all of it going in places you want. I mean, you could probably say that 5 hours a week is probably coming from some social media use as well, right? I periodically have to delete my Instagram when I need to do deep work just to get into the zone and not be sidetracked, which is actually what I had to do to film these videos. Okay, so there's that. And then what is the other topic I want to talk about? Oh, family obligations. So we get that. We totally 100% do. In fact, 2 of the women on our team have babies that are under 6 months. So all good. We bring them to the Zoom call. It's all fine. Same for coaching calls. You don't have to depart that from yourself. If you show up to a coaching call with your family and it's chaos in the back, doesn't matter. It's all good. It's totally okay. So the biggest thing too is setting up that expectation with your family. Maybe you need to talk to your spouse and say, look, I need support. This is moving forward on my bigger your life goals. And, can you watch the kids Saturday morning so I've got my 5-hour block to crank this out, right? So expectation management's big. The other thing I would add is that you've probably put yourself on the back burner for a pretty long time. I'm going to guess that you've put your family, your kids, someone else's career in front of your own. And if that's happened, it's time for you. And this does not have to be a selfish ordeal. This is actually elevating you, allows you to, all ships rise, right? So if you're feeling like you're unsure if you're going to see this through to the end, I just want you to realize and be less hard on yourself because you don't have to be perfect at this. If you're scared about your writing skills, you feel like you haven't been in the workforce in a long time, or whatever the thing is, let's just push through that, get you inside and realize that we've designed this knowing you're busy. It's actually a hallmark characteristic of successful grant writers. Okay, the last point I want to make is this. I need you to bet on you. You might not know how you're going to get to your goal. The reality is no entrepreneur ever knows, and I know you might not identify with the word entrepreneur, but really anyone getting anywhere doesn't know how they're getting there. They just know why they're going. So when you know your why, you know why you're digging in, why you want to do things, you're going to make it happen. You are not a failure because you did not complete something else. Here is, for example, this online course I signed up for. I've been wanting to take it for years. Show Her Off. It's a basically learn how to country swing dance. And as you all know, I'm actually a country girl from Wyoming, and I love putting on my boots and Wranglers and going and dancing. And I have not been super consistent with it. I started the intro videos a month ago and like, no, I'm not back into it, but I know I will be. And it's okay. I'm not trashing myself for not being perfect at taking it right now, right? It's okay. But so I just want you to realize that that's a big piece of it. The last thing I want to add is this. It's not entirely your fault. The architecture of most online programs do not concern themselves with your success. A lot of times, I swear, all they concern themselves with is you buying the program, then you're inside and like, okay, there it is, but it's not radically improved all the time. Whereas Alex and I literally obsess about you getting results and measuring that and knowing that the dollar bills that you put into this program, you're going to be getting a multiple return on, right? So the last point I want to make is this. The architecture of the program that you sign up for has a really big influence on whether or not you'll be successful. That's why I hate and I'm out to destroy these super old school, terrible course options that you have out there. There's one in particular, something association, that literally just took their live workshops, slapped that into an online version, still charged just a ton for it. And it's actually a really awful experience. And you don't get to the other end of that feeling any bit of confidence in your ability to write grants. So I want you to know that it's not just that you're not disciplined, you didn't persist, blah, blah, blah. It either wasn't the right thing for you, it wasn't a priority, or also the program might have been kind of crappy, right? And so I want you to know that that was not going to be your experience if you decide to become a grant writing unicorn. Our program is absolutely freaking awesome. Okay, so with that, I think I'm done. I just want you to know that if you're feeling any sort of angst around, I don't know if I'm going to finish this, I start a lot of things that I don't see through to the end, I just want you to get to the root of why didn't I write down what are those things that I didn't finish? Why didn't I finish them? And what has to be true for me to finish something in the future, right? So think about that, be introspective, journal, add in the comments if you have any questions. This is definitely something I'd love to help you push through. Okay, friends, that's all, and I'll see you next time. See you later.